What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Samoan Fan 101, and this is yet another review for a WWE pay-per-view. Now, if you saw my recent review of Ultimate Lucha Tres, or Tres, whatever you want to call it, that was actually recorded like 2 days before Thanksgiving. It is now like a week or so later. Maybe I think it's like 2 weeks later now. Sorry I haven't uploaded, but for like a week. We were completely out of internet. We had no internet here, so I didn't have any chance to record any videos to upload. And I had to upload Ultimate Lucha Tres like last Friday or Saturday. So sorry about that. But I'll make it up to you because if all things go well, I'm the only one home right now. So if all things go well, I'm gonna be reviewing several shows here today. This is your Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view review. Yeah, I am catching up on all the pay-per-view shows that I missed this year. I really need to catch up on those. I have not been vigilant, especially in the last few weeks. I've been actually sick. Right now I have a congestive head cold. I took some medicine for that a little while ago. I really hope the head pain does not come back while I review, because if it does, I'll be so pissed off. Anyway, Great Balls of Fire. First of all, the poster. That horrible Dick and Balls poster. Thankfully, I have a different poster that I'm going to be using for my for the screensaver for the video, so you will not have to look at a pair of red-hot flaming testicles with a red-hot flame for a wang. But let's get the show on the road. The opening. Now, I'm going to go through the pre-show. Now, sometimes I don't do these, but there are times when I do whenever there's an important pre-show match. Or if there's like several matches, like say for SummerSlam or Survivor Series or WrestleMania, that kind of thing. The pre-show was Neville defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Akira Tozawa. This was actually a pretty good match between these two. And considering what we got in the main card, I'm like, why the hell wasn't this on the main card? It would have made the show better for us to watch. And that's kind of the story of the Cruiserweight Championship this year. How many times has a title match been relegated to pre-show? There was WrestleMania, Great Balls of Fire, SummerSlam, not No Mercy or TLC, Survivor Series. That's 4 shows right there. 3 of them are the biggest shows of the year, and 1 of them is Great Balls of Fire. So, yeah, not looking good at all for the Cruiserweight title. The way they treat it sometimes. As far as the match goes, you know, I really wish they would have gotten longer. Like, if they would have gotten, like, 20 minutes or something like that, this show would have been off the hook. It probably would have been the best match of the night if it had gotten that long, because these are 2 guys we know that could work 20 minutes. But for what we got, it was a good show. Akira Tozawa has one of the better suicide dives. See, it's not as good as, say, King Cuerno's suicide dive. He is the best one in the business. But it's still a pretty good one. It makes it look like it hurts. So there's that. Neville does that middle rope 450 splash. Or no, not 450. The middle rope Phoenix splash, which is just impressive as all hell. But yeah. So here's how the match pretty much ended up. Tozawa went for that top rope senton, which I fear he's going to hurt himself one of these days by doing that move, just the way he does it. And this was a really good match with a shitty finish. So at one point, Tozawa does a top rope senton. I think I cannot remember exactly what happened. Neville either put his foot on the bottom rope or he rolled out of the ring in time for Tozawa not to be able to pin him. I think he put his foot on the bottom rope. I cannot remember, but he hit well, whatever the case, he hit the top rope senton, did not get the win. Then he went after then Tozawa got hung up on the top ropes. Not on the turnbuckle, but on the top ropes by Neville. Neville then kicked the top rope behind the referee's back. Then he did like a spinning kick to his stomach. Not even like a low blow or to the head, just to his stomach, and then beat Tozawa. This was a good match that was somewhat marred by a completely shit finish. It's not even that the fact that Neville, cheated and hung him on the top rope. No, he won with a spinning kick to his stomach. That is a horrible, horrible finish. It was still a good match, but man, it was somewhat of a disappointment, which would be a recurring theme throughout the night. Good, but disappointing. First match. We had the first match of the actual pay-per-view. We had Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. This was a good match. It was a nice, solid match, but that was about it. I expected a lot more, especially in a Seth Rollins match. But this was just a nice, solid match. It was not that great. I mean, I guess there were some spots you could say were boring, but you could tell that these guys really were trying. These guys really were trying, but it was just a nice, solid match. It's just one of those things where, even for two good wrestlers, it's like one of those things where it's like maybe they just don't have the chemistry. I don't know. But it wasn't a bad match at all, by all means. It wasn't. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a completely shitty match. Although, Bray Wyatt at one point absolutely destroyed Seth Rollins with his Uranage move, and I'm gonna be the one to say it right now. Even though the Sister Abigail, I like how the move is, why isn't Bray Wyatt using a Uranage as a finishing move? Clearly, it's more devastating the way he does it. It's not like you have some people who do Uranages and rock bottoms and such, and they look good. But Bray Wyatt has one of the best Uranages, and it looks so devastating. It's like, why even bother having Sister Abigail as a finish? Even though that one looks kind of devastating too, the way he does it. But the Uranage, man, he used that shit to perfection almost. Slammed Seth Rollins right down to hell. But eventually, Bray Wyatt won with a poke into the eye of Seth Rollins, and then he got Sister Abigail, and then he got the win. Good match. I don't think I didn't expect Bray to win because Bray this year, especially in the beginning after WrestleMania, was the eater of pins. He didn't get any wins. But it was a nice little match. Next match was Big Cass against Enzo Amore. This was back when Enzo was still babyface. Enzo and Cass had broken up because Cass had been attacking Enzo for several weeks. This was a 5-minute-long squash match, and I enjoyed every friggin' second of it. It was fun. I mean, meant for pay-per-view? Maybe not, but, to be fair, that it was meant to be a squash, and I don't think it could have been any more than a squash. Or else it would not have been entertaining. We always like to see Enzo get his ass kicked. Whether he's a babyface or a heel. Anyway, Big Cass won, I think, with a big boot. Because he's a tall SOB, I gotta tell you. Yeah, you just beat the shit out of Enzo. Big boot for the win, and that was it. Next match was the 30-minute Iron Man match between the Hardy Boys and the Bar, as they later on would be called. But at this point in time, they were still just Cesaro and Sheamus. But later on, they'd be called the Bar. So, yeah, this was a really good match. This was probably the second best match of the night. There was boring at moments. I will give it that. For the two teams that they had here, I expected a lot. I expected more. Again, somewhat disappointing. At least, though, still very, very good. Wasn't great, but very good. Sorry about that. The opening of the match actually started out really well. Cesaro, who was not the legal man, he went to attack the Matt Hardy, and then from behind, basically as a distraction, Sheamus hit him with a brogue kick and then got the first pinfall in like the first 10 seconds, which was very smart. After that, they worked really good. Again, there were moments here where it was a little bit boring, so to speak, but it was still a very good match. Match went on for like the next 9 minutes or 10 minutes or so. Then, like, after that, the Bar hit their, it was their finish. It was the, I forget what the name of the finish is called. It's when Sheamus picks up, his opponent for the white noise, and then Cesaro, like, kind of jumps off the middle rope from one of the corners, and kind of helps Sheamus press him into the ground. They pin Jeff Hardy, marking the Iron Man score 0-2. 0 for the Hardy Boys, 2 for the Bar. A couple minutes later, Jeff Hardy pinned Cesaro with a twist of fate, so to give Hardy Boys 1 point. So it's still 2-1 for the Bar. They worked. Now, as apparently as what we found out a couple months later, somewhere in this match, Jeff Hardy got hurt. At which spot, I don't know. I don't know which spot that Jeff Hardy got hurt in. But, that's just to lay it out there. That's exactly what happened. Then Matt Hardy, and this was like 10 minutes later, so this is like what 7 and a half more minutes till the end of the match. Matt Hardy rolls Cesaro back, and then can create somewhat of a creative pin. Jeff Hardy, while he does this, Jeff Hardy does his little extra pinning combination when he does like a split-legged like ass salt to the ground, hilariously, like almost like a leg drop. But he drops his legs on Cesaro's legs. You have to watch the match for yourself to figure out, but you've seen him do it before when he tries to pin somebody like this. So they got another pin. It was 2-2. It was all tied up. 7 minutes left. The Bar went for another of that white noise finish, the elevated white noise. Oh, I have to bring this up. Okay, so Matt Hardy, he went for a moonsault from the top rope onto Sheamus on the mat, right? In the ring. Apparently, either the referee screwed up. No, it wasn't the referee. The referee, the way the referee does this referee, I forget his name, but the way he does the pinfall, he makes it look like when I guess when he's checking, if the shoulders are on the mat, he makes it look like he's actually counting, because he does like this, because he usually does it to make sure that, the hand's on level with the shoulder. When he does that, the crowd thought he counted 1. So then he counted 1 and 2, and then Cesaro broke up the pin from the moonsault. Problem is, the way the referee counted it, you almost think, oh, he counted 3, and Cesaro wasn't able to break it up in time. But no, it was still a 2, and for the rest of the match, it was like only 4 minutes left, but for the rest of the match, the crowd shat all over the referee, and deservedly so, because, the way he does the pin, it makes him look like a complete jackass. It makes him look stupid. Like he's not doing his job right. So, somewhere in here, God, I completely forget when, but somewhere in here, Cesaro and Sheamus did get a pinfall. I completely forget exactly when this happened. It may have been a count out, actually. Now that I recall, I think what happened was Matt Hardy got counted out. And, Matt Hardy may have gotten counted out, and that's how, things ended up. It may have been earlier in the match, actually. But anyway, so that happened. Matt Hardy did a twist of fate off the top rope, to God damn it, my computer's messing up here. It's being an ass. So, Matt Hardy went off the top rope, hit a, not a swanton bomb. That's Jeff Hardy's thing. He hit a twist of fate from the top rope, or I guess they were standing on the middle rope. Want to be more precise. From the middle rope, he hit a twist of fate onto Sheamus on the mat. So middle rope, twist of fate, and that, I think that tied everything up 3-3, if I recall correctly. And they after that, about with a minute and a half left, the Hardy Boys hit. It was one of their signature splashes from each side of the corner. So like from like one end and then diagonally the other end, they hit splashes. Matt hit a splash on Sheamus's upper body. Jeff hit a splash on Sheamus's lower body. For all we know, that may have been the spot that Jeff got hurt in or something. I don't know. All I know is he was working with an injury, and then he got hurt, and then he had to take time off and take surgery later on. 35 seconds left in the match. Jeff Hardy hit a swanton bomb on Sheamus, but before he could pin him, Cesaro got the surprise pin on Jeff. And with like 30 seconds left, Jeff was chasing around Cesaro. He hit Cesaro in the ring with a twist of fate with like only like 1 or 2 seconds left. When the bell rang when the referee had already counted 2, so he could not count 3 in time in order to tie it up. That was the story. Cesaro, the Bar in this match retained their Raw Tag Team Championship. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of the loop. Clearly, my congestive head shit is getting the better of me. I'm usually much better at detail when it comes to these shows, but man, my head just got the better of me right now. Next match was Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. I thought this was a pretty good match. Probably Alexa's best match. There was a spot, of course, when Alexa, it made it look like, she dislocated her shoulder, which looks sick every time I see it. And it really is not. She's double jointed, so she can do that. Early in the match, Alexa tried to walk out, basically take a count-out pin. Sasha was having none of that. There was a nice spot where Sasha hit a suplex to Alexa Bliss into the corner, which is nice. I think there was like another spot, if I recall correctly, there was another spot where Alexa Bliss hit like a code red on Sasha. After that, she went for the Twisted Bliss. Sasha put her knees up. Sasha went for the bank statement. Alexa got to the rope. They battled outside for a little while. Sasha got in the ring. She tried so hard to get Alexa in the ring. Alexa basically took a count-out finish, which you might say was a shitty finish, but it was at least what we thought at the time before they did the idiotic mistake on Raw. I'll get to that in a second. Actually, I'll get to that in my SummerSlam review. To put Bayley as #1 contender before she got hurt. More on that later. So basically, Sasha won by countout. Alexa, though, is still your champion because you can only change title can only change hands by pinfall or submission. Sasha, sick of Alexa's BS, attacked her when Alexa was leaving. They got up on the announce table. She threw Alexa off the announce table, the Raw announce table. It's like an elevated position from the stage. Then from the announce table area, from the announce table, actually, on top of the announce table, she hit that double knees onto Alexa, who was on the floor, not on the stage. So, a little bit of a revenge for Alexa. Next match was The Miz versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. I think This was not the match where, if I recall correctly, this was not the match, because I think not Dean Ambrose, The Miz was champion, right? Sorry, they've had so, give me a little bit of a break. They've had so many matches that I can't even care enough to figure out whose match is whose. Because there was a Payback was the Raw pay-per-view. Okay, so Dean Ambrose and Miz had their IC title match at not Great Balls of Fire, at Payback. That was actually the best of their matches that they've had. It was a really good match. Then they had a match at Extreme Rules, which was just okay, but because of the stipulation, they focused so much on the stipulation that the match itself was kind of an afterthought. Same thing here, with the exception of the stipulation. This was an average match, which from the Miz is not something you expect. The problem was, the exception of the one time, which was at Payback, Miz and Ambrose have had so many matches that it's just the same thing over and over again. And, constant interference also by the Miz-Taraj, which had just formed around this time. Ambrose attacking Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Dean Ambrose at one point hit Dirty Deeds. Maurice, before she was pregnant, as we found out several months later, put Mrs. Foot on the bottom rope, so the pinfall was broken up. But more interference by the Miz-Taraj. At one point, Dean Ambrose threw Curtis Axel in just to give him payback. Then Bo Dallas came up from behind a little later on, attacked Ambrose. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale for the win. This was a match. I mean, Ambrose and Miz could have been better, but it was fucking ruined by the constant interference. It was an average match at the end, but it could have been much better if it wasn't for the constant interference from Maurice, from Bo Dallas, from Curtis Axel. It was just marred big time. Next match, and as it turned out was the best match of the night, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns in an ambulance match. This was a great match. This was a nice, fun brawl. This match was, unlike some of the other matches that we wanted, was up to expectations. Just Strowman at one point destroying Roman Reigns with steel steps over and over again. But and the story apparently was almost like Braun Strowman, in order to hurt Braun Strowman, have him try to run into you and you get out of the way and he hits something. He did that with the turnbuckle in the ring. He did it with the the steel ring post outside, the LED ring post outside. They were they brawled up to the ambulance. I know I'm mincing details, but it really was just a fun brawl. You have to actually watch it for yourself if you haven't already. Which you should. The pay-per-view's been out for months. They brawled by the ambulance. Reigns had a couple Superman punches. Strowman took not the coroner, but you know how the stretcher. He took that orange stretcher thing where you put the pad on, and he just beat Roman Reigns up with it. Another case of Strowman running into things. Braun Strowman ran into the stage where Roman Reigns was leaning against. And then later on, Roman Reigns shoved Braun Strowman through the LED stage, which was a great spot. They were over by the ambulance. Reigns hit Strowman with a camera, I think, or maybe in one of the lights. But in a hilarious ending of the match, Roman, I keep saying Roman. Roman and Strowman. No wonder why I keep saying it. They both rhyme. Strowman was by the ambulance. The ambulance doors were open. Reigns went for a spear. Strowman got out of the way, so I guess he learned his lesson. He figured out what to do. He suckered Roman in. Reigns went for the spear. Strowman got out of the way. Reigns went right into the ambulance. He shut the doors, and then Strowman won the match. And of course, in one of the most confusing things I've ever seen, Roman Reigns, the babyface, attacks Strowman after Strowman won fair and square. He spears him from the ambulance. He takes the ambulance driver. He throws him out. He throws him out like a heel. He drives Strowman into the parking garage. And then backed the ambulance, with Strowman in the back, by the way. He backed the ambulance right up to one of the WWE trucks. And it completely, by the way, was a heel move. And then for like the next 20 minutes or something like that, officials tried desperately to get Strowman out of there. In the meanwhile, we had a match between Heath Slater and Curt Hawkins. Heath Slater and Curt Hawkins. And I couldn't tell you how the match ended because they kept on doing this split screen. After a minute, did a split screen to the parking garage, and then at one point just disavowed the match entirely. And then all I know is what happened is JoJo with the mic basically said, "Your winner of the match, Heath Slater." I can't tell you for shit exactly how he won because they never showed us. They never bothered to show us after Strowman got out. Strowman got out, full of blood on his face, and as almost like a valiant babyface, he says, "Leave me alone." He refused to get on a stretcher, and he just walked away. And Lundrick in his review said it best. Who the fuck was supposed to be the babyface and the heel here? I don't know. Because the next night on Raw, Roman Reigns acted like nothing happened, and he was a complete babyface turn. It was a complete babyface. This is one of the reasons why Roman Reigns as a babyface will never work. Because he does all these heel things, yet he's still babyface. No wonder why the crowd hated his guts. Then, we get on to the main event. Brock Lesnar defending his Universal Championship against Samoa Joe. The build-up to this match was freaking perfect. The way they built it up, they built up Samoa Joe so strong in the match. Match starts. Actually, no, not even before the match even starts. Samoa Joe attacks Lesnar from behind. Throws him into the ring barricade outside. Then hits a Uranage through a table to Lesnar, which was an awesome spot. They get in the ring finally. Lesnar gets in. The match finally starts. Samoa Joe, more so than other people in the past, Samoa Joe actually got a nice little bit amount of offense in. Yes, there was parts where it was just Suplex City, but then there were parts when Samoa Joe got a good amount of offense. He was dominating a little bit. There were a couple F5 attempts. The story of this match was that in the build-up to the show, Samoa Joe kept on knocking Brock Lesnar out, making him pass out with the Coquina Clutch. So several times in this match, Samoa Joe went for a Coquina Clutch. Samoa Joe, the last time in this match, he went for a Coquina Clutch. Lesnar countered it into an F5 for one F5, and then one F5 it took to take out Samoa Joe. How long was the match? About 6 minutes. Yeah. This was a 6-minute long match, and I gotta tell you, this stupid bug, me and a lot of other people were pissed off that the match only went 6 minutes. 6 minutes! For a match that was as hotly anticipated as Joe and Joe and Strowman. Actually, Joe and Strowman actually didn't go that long either. I'll get to that in my No Mercy review. But yeah, Joe and Lesnar, Joe and Strowman, they were both greatly anticipated matches, and yet they were very short matches and disappointing. Don't get me wrong, I did have fun watching this match. But this match should have gone another 9 minutes, much like the Lesnar-Styles match did at Survivor Series. More on that at Survivor Series review. So yeah, that was the pay-per-view. The story of this pay-per-view had a lot of matches that were hyped up, but were disappointing. Neville and Tozawa, to an extent, was disappointing because it was on the pre-show. Wyatt and Rollins was disappointing. Cesaro, the Bar against the Hardy Boys was disappointing, though still very good. The Miz and Ambrose was just an average as shit match. Average as hell. Lesnar and Joe was also very disappointing. The only match that actually met up to standards that we thought would be there was Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, with a completely ludicrous post-match. Sorry for that. So, that's your Great Balls of Fire review. I hope you enjoyed me ranting and raving at several points. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have my ratings in the comment section below. Not the comment section, in the description box below. I'll put my Ask.fm account page link on there in case you want to go there and ask me questions. Until next time, guys, I'll see you with my SummerSlam 2017 review. Until next time, guys, peace.